We woke up that morning thinking it was just another quiet day at home. The sunlight slipped through the curtains. The kettle hummed in the kitchen. And everything felt as ordinary as ever. We moved around the house with the same calm routine, not knowing how quickly that calm would disappear. Nothing seemed unusual, and that's what makes the memory even more shocking. I was scrolling on my phone while my wife folded laundry. She was humming softly, completely unaware of what was about to unfold. Even the air felt peaceful, like the house was wrapped in silence. If someone had told us that in a few minutes our lives would shift forever, we wouldn't have believed them. Then it started just a small sound at first, a thud. We both ignored it, thinking it was the neighbors or something falling outside. But then a second thud came louder, closer, almost like it was inside the walls. We looked at each other, confused, wondering if we were imagining things. The atmosphere suddenly felt heavier. Within seconds, the floor beneath us trembled. My wife dropped the shirt she was folding, and I stood up so quickly my phone slid off my lap. Another shake followed, stronger this time, making the windows rattle and the lights flicker. It wasn't normal. Something was happening, something we weren't prepared for. We rushed to the hallway, calling out for my younger sister who was still asleep in her room. The shaking grew more violent, and the picture frames on the walls clattered and fell. I could hear glass shattering in the kitchen. My heart raced as I reached her door and pushed it open, finding her already awake and terrified. "Is it an earthquake?" she asked, her voice trembling. I didn't know the answer, but it didn't matter. We needed to get out. I grabbed her hand, my wife grabbed mine, and the three of us hurried toward the front door as the whole house vibrated like it was breathing too fast. Every second felt dangerous. As soon as we stepped outside, we were hit by a wave of noise sirens in the distance. Dogs barking, neighbors running out of their houses. But the worst part wasn't the noise. It was the sight of a huge crack running across the street like something had torn the ground open. People were shouting, scattering, trying to understand what was happening. Then the shaking stopped as suddenly as it had begun. For a moment, everything went eerily quiet again. We stood there on the driveway, breathing hard, trying to process the fear that had taken over our bodies. My wife clung to my arm, and my sister kept staring at the broken street as if it might start moving again. But just as we thought it was over, a loud explosion echoed from somewhere behind the houses. A cloud of smoke rose into the sky, dark and heavy. The smell of burning wires filled the air. Someone shouted that a power transformer had blown up. Others were yelling for people to move away from their homes in case of aftershocks. We joined the crowd moving toward the open field at the end of the street. Parents carried crying children. Elderly neighbors leaned on younger ones, and everyone looked shaken. Despite the chaos, there was a strange sense of unity. Like we had all become one body trying to survive the same terrifying moment. We held hands tightly, afraid to let go. Standing in that field, watching our neighborhood from a distance, we realized how fragile everything was. Our home, our safe place, felt like it had betrayed us. The walls that had held our happiest memories were now cracked and dangerous. The life we knew felt suddenly uncertain. Hours later, rescue teams and engineers arrived to assess the damage. We were told that the ground beneath our street had shifted more than anyone expected, and our house was no longer safe to enter. Hearing those words felt like losing a part of ourselves. We looked at each other, overwhelmed, trying to accept that our lives had changed in a single unexpected day. That night, as we sat together under the open sky, wrapped in blankets given by volunteers, we understood something important. Nothing in life is guaranteed, not safety, not routine, not even the walls we trust to protect us. But we still had each other, and that was the only thing that kept us strong. What we thought was a normal day had turned into a memory that would stay with us forever. A reminder of how quickly everything can change.